Everybody, other person, mute yourself. Let Uche move.
The speakers, if I don't pronounce your name, please forgive me.
Yes, you can pronounce me. My name is Shauqiya.
I have Shauqid Hawaiian. She is from Palestine. I also have our older speaker, the older speaker here, Dr. Iman A. Alam. Dr. Iman is from Egypt. I also have Dr. Pratik Rajan Mungeka and HE Honorable Dr. Monique Lynch is from Jamaica, while Pratik is from India. My humble self, I am Ambassador Uche Grace Emetarom, Professor. I am from Nigeria. I'm here with all of you to take on today for an interactive, very good conversation on a very good topic. A topic that has been and it still is a concern for the whole world, and particularly the African nations. And what is that topic? The youth, who are more, if you take the curve, the age curve, you see that they are more in number. I believe that when our speakers start speaking, they will let us into the statistics that are necessary, that we have to talk about their future and why it is important. And that is why today we are talking about the youth is the hope of the future. Why are they the hope of the future? So we have to start right away. And I want to please request the speakers, you have not more, please don't go more than 20 minutes because there are 4 of us today. Watch your time, not more than 20 minutes. If it starts going beyond 20 minutes, I will stop you so that we don't sleep here till tomorrow morning. Please watch your time. So I want to call, not really by any special preference. Let me call Shakwe Hawawin Hawaure. Please let us into your thoughts. Please let us into your thoughts, because I can see from your profile, you are a towering personality. You have a master's degree in English teaching methods and a certified teacher. And you are an ambassador for many places, Minecraft, Bouncy, Kahoot, among many others. You are a committee member. You judge in Arab Coda Week in this second round. She is also a Microsoft innovative expert and trainer in 2020 to 2022. She won the Glory certification from Arab Translators Association. Hawaure established a training outfit that she called "We Are the Initiatives Towards the Peak." She is a thought trainer and an ambassador of International Virtual Passport, as well as a worldwide green project. She is a keynote speaker in local and global conferences who has won many awards, including the President's Creativity and Excellence Award in Palestine, that was in 2020. She also has the ISA International School Award, as well as winning the Green Thinkers Prize and Glory certificates, among many others. I have decided to summarize her profile so that we can catch up with time. We welcome you, Shakwe Hawaure. Please take us through what you know about the youth is the hope of the future. Thank you.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Thank you. Thank you, Dr. Ott, for this nice introduction about me. I am so pleased to be with you and to join this great association with the distinguished educators from all over the world. Assalamu alaikum rahmatullah. Peace be upon you. Good morning, good evening, good afternoon for everybody. Nice to be with you this night in order to talk in some important issue, as Dr. Otchi says, which is the youth and or the youth is the future and the hope of the future. Let's first share my screen. Yes, so the topic is the youth is the hope of our future. And really, I want to concentrate on an important issue, which is the youth and the internet. Okay, I am Shawqiya Hawaura from Palestine, and I am so glad to be with you. Thanks another time for inviting me to this great conference, and hope that we will get great experience with each other. There are some objectives of this webinar. First of all, we will demonstrate the internet's importance in our life, recognize what internet's effects are on youth, find out how to deal effectively with internet, and lastly, suggest some recommendations. But before we begin, let's play a short game using word
Recording in progress.
Yes, I send the link inside the chat box and I will send it another time. Okay. Please click on the link and try to answer these questions concerning internet. Please, let's begin. Okay. Let's share this great game. I will wait for you for half a minute in order to start. Here it is called the internet. It is very short, but it is funny and attractive, and I hope that you will enjoy it in order to have a glimpse on what you know about the internet. Yes, let's start. Yes, we use internet for A, B, or C. Which is the best answer? Do we use internet, for example, for searching for information on certain topics, or for playing only, or for shopping locally only? I will choose this one. Yes, great, it is right. Now, number 2, is the excessive internet negative use? What is it? Is it the definition of pollution, internet addiction, smoking addiction? Let's check this one. Great, it is correct. A banking transaction is not allowed by the internet. Is it true or false? Yes, I will choose this one. Yes, great. Good digital citizens should behave respectfully, protect their reputations and privacy. Is this sentence true or false about digital citizenship? Yes, we will see. Excellent, right. Now,
Did we
positive
lose you?
aspects of social media and other
Looks
media
like
that
we've lost her.
Sorry?
Like we've lost her. Shakwea?
Naam?
Shakwea,
Yes.
are you still
Yes.
here with us?
Yes.
Okay, we lost you.
Really? Can't you hear me?
Yeah, it stopped.
Now, can you see my screen?
Yes, please.
Yes, thank you. Yes.
You're welcome.
Now, the other question, number 5, positive aspects of social media and other media that have influence on teenagers are like citizenship, health, lifestyle and identity, or B or C. Let's check this one. Excellent. So right. The last question, the internet provides vehicles to promote cognitive, social, and physical development. Is this sentence true or false? Let's check. Great. So those are some of the questions that are used for introducing our topic. Let's return another time to our slides. Now, is my presentation visible, Doctor?
Yes, it is.
Yes, ma'am. Yeah, please go ahead.
Yes. Thank you. Thank you very much. Now, after this game, let's move to the other slide. Please, in the chat box, write any word associated with the internet. Please, you can make interaction between me. Write any word that comes to your mind when you hear the word internet. Just one word. Write in the chat box, please. Yes. Please, communication, excellent, Miss Bara. Thank you for the interaction. Write any word that comes to you when you hear the word internet. Thank you, Miss Mirvat, interactive. Great. Others, we need more participants, please. Excellent, Doctor. Thank you. Information, excellent, thank you. Another word, another word. Online study, thank you, Samia. Yes, email, excellent. So those are some, thank you for being interactive and active with me. These words, those are some of the words associated with the internet. As you know, we are living in the digital age, and we, as our children and colleagues are associated and concerned with this thing. For example, with media, with electronic sharing, with chatting, with being interactive with others, with communication, etc. Yes. Now, so what is internet? If I ask someone, please define internet. Internet, as you know, is a global web. It is like a web. It is like a series of connection of computers connected to each other by wires. And it is very important as a source of information for all generations, not only for the young, but also for other levels and generations. If we have a look at this diagram, it is about the internet use and access in the world, and it is as, for example, as it is foretold in the future from 2010 to 2025. Okay, if you have a look here, you can see how it is increased. Look here, for example, in yes. So it was here low, here higher in million. Here the numbers of the people who use the internet, it is in million here. And here, those are the numbers that tell us that the increase or about the increase or the increasing use of the internet in the world. Okay. Yes, the internet is a positive tool sometimes for many things. But what is the first thing? If I ask you, the first thing, internet is very useful for our student learning because it promotes our students and it upgrades their levels in order to be good citizens also. And also, it is as an empowerment for our youth and for their well-being. You know, through during COVID-19, there were a lot of suffering. There was a lot of suffering, and there were a lot of challenges. So we should care about our young well-being. Okay. Also, another positive point is to improve test scores. For me, an educator, for example, during using internet, I used it in order to develop my students' scores by using, for example, such global platforms like Pansy, Kahoot, quizzes, etc. Yes. Also, it tells us about history chronological learning. So it tells about our history, about our culture, about others' culture, in order to exchange ideas, to exchange ideas. Also, it is motivation to learn. Always we motivate and stimulate our learners, our trainers, our students to learn more and more. So it is very positive. But as I told you, during COVID-19, it was a very tough period, and it was a challenge for us as educators, for parents, for the government, for all the levels of the society. So it was, or there was increasing in using devices. As you know, a lot of devices were put inside our homes, inside our schools, for not just for learning, but for entertainment, for gamification, for communication, maybe for work. Also, it reveals some risks concerning safety in using the internet. You know, our children or our young, even they are young, but still they sometimes behave like children. So there are some risks or challenges, problems concerning using internet as it deepens, for example, the digital gaps between generations. So we should treat them. We should be careful about them and care more and more about the young, because they are the builder of our society. They are the hope of our society. As you know here, so, for example, many activities were done in order to care about their well-being, like playing sports, like learning a language, like learning a hobby, etc.
So you have 4 minutes. You have 4 minutes more, please.
Yes,
4 minutes
so I
more.
will quicker. I will be quicker. There are, on the other hand, some risks during using these devices, during internet. For example, they don't speak the language, they don't communicate well, they don't have the digital skills. Sometimes they have or they face problems in behaving impolitely. So it exposed them to harmful and violent content, and increased the rates of cyberbullying. Also, for example, causes of worsening mental well-being. It was confusion over exams. Their exams were not good. For example, there was lack of social interaction and many other problems. But what are the causes of better mental well-being? When the young have a free time for hobbies, their well-being and their mental well-being be better and better. Also, there will be more time for the family, for self-reflection, for thinking about their future, etc. So those are some of the risks and opportunities, but for the sake of time, I will be quicker. What is responsible digital citizenship? In order to be digital citizenship, you should have your rights, your duties, for example, and you should be respect respectful for others during using internet. You should protect your reputation, protect your privacy and others' privacy. You should watch your tone, for example, and many other things. Here, those are some samples on how can we care more about the young of the society, and we should always ask them such questions. Who is behind this activity? Not to let them all the time using internet carelessly. We should ask them those questions. What is their motivation? Why do they, for example, use this film, this series, etc.? But on the other hand, there are many other advantages, like for enhancing social relations, delivering health interventions, enhancing social, having fun and entertainment, for business purposes, future careers, for example, for communication, etc. I will move quicker for those in order to come to the other point about the negative aspect. For example, bullying, solicitation, online addiction. As you know, our young are addicted for internet, so we should pay attention to them and not to let them all the time use their internet without our care, for example. So it is very important to help our young stay safe online, safe, and respect others, for example, and use them in a good way. So the last slide, it is about recommendations. We should help teenagers balance the influence of social media and other media. Not all the time to use the social media without working, without studying, without helping others, for example, without treating others politely. And also, this is a very important in order to build the 21st century skills. As you know, we should encourage them to cooperate, to contact others, to be creative, to be leaders of the society, to be, for example, builder of their country, for example, not to be passive ones, no, not to be active ones, to be or to treat others positively, for example. And also we should introduce them to real life. Yes. For the sake of time, I will stop now. And if there is any question, I am ready. Thank you for listening to me, and I hope that you get benefit. I have a lot of information, but for the sake of time, we should stop in order to let others have the same chance to present the topic.
Ma'am, you can take 5 more minutes because a presentation you should finish it. Please finish it. I will tell to Uche ma'am. She will give you permission. Please take some more time.
I'm listening. Okay, you can continue, please.
Uche ma'am, please allow her. Please allow her.
You can continue.
Yes, thank you. Thank you. So I can return to some slides here. Yes. Yes, if we have a look here about this diagram, it is about European children find upsetting online, for example, about violence. You know, violence online is more dangerous than violence, for example, offline. What do I mean by that? For example, even they are young, but as I told you, they or some of them are still fresh-minded, okay? So we should protect them from violence, from being, for example, or from being with other bad or worse ones, in order to, for example, to encourage them to kill others or to treat others impolitely, to behave impolitely, etc. So we should deal with these things carefully. As I know, or as I told you, internet is a very important point or key in order to enhance the digital citizenship. But what is digital citizenship? You know, to be a good citizen, you should be, or you should be polite with others. You should know your rights as well as your duties. In order to have your rights, you should, of course, do your duties towards others. First of all, towards yourself. How you should protect yourself from addiction to internet. You should behave politely with people, with those people online, as you behave politely with those people whom you meet face to face or whom you meet daily. So you should behave in a good way to build your society in a good way. Also, we should, or the internet is a very important key point in order to stimulate the cognitive, social, and physical development. What is cognitive? It is about thinking, creativity. It is about enhancing these things inside our young, because as I said previously, the young are the hope. They are the candle. They are the light of the whole society. So we should be more careful of them. And also, in order to develop them socially, not to let them always with their mobiles, with their devices, to lose interaction with others. And also, as I present at the beginning, to be careful with their or mental well-being. And also, communication is very important here by using internet for collecting information and data, for example, for reinforcing offline relationships. It is very important to use internet for communicative approach. How? Not always to be with your device alone, but for example, as for me as a teacher, to communicate with my colleagues locally and globally, to communicate with my students, my trainers, as I do usually. For example, I train my colleagues always on how to use teaching strategies. For example, I contact my students who are young. They are between, for example, 14 and 18. And as you know, this stage is very, very important and very urgent. So we should care or have a lot of care of them. Also, for business purposes, as you know, internet has opened a lot of doors for our young, for business, for having careers, for communicating with associations, with companies, in order to have better career. It is usual to have fun and entertainment. Young or our young are, as I said, the candle or the leaders of the society. So we should stimulate them to be in a good and in a funny atmosphere in order to stimulate them to go ahead in their, for example, in their studying, in their careers, in their life, etc. As you know, all the young all over the world are suffering from stress and pressure. I know, for example, about our young in Palestine. You know, Palestine is an occupied country. It is a small country. And also our young are suffering a lot from occupation. They are prevented, for example, from going to their schools freely. They are prevented from going to their work freely. They are under pressure. So if I don't let them to have fun and entertainment beside these challenges, what will happen to our young? They will, for example, maybe they will commit suicide. They will be addicted to drugs, for example. They will commit some crimes, maybe. So we should pay attention for these things. I have a lot, but I should stop till now. Thank you another time for letting me and giving me the chance to present my ideas, and hope you the best. Thank you very much. Thank you. I'm ready.
Thank you. Thank you so much, Shakwe Haware.
Thank you, Doctor.
You have taken us through a topic on internet and how the young people use internet or should be encouraged to use internet. You talked about its importance, its digital life, how it played a good role during COVID. And you talk about digital skills. In fact, initially you wanted us to talk about what is another word for communication, internet. You talked about youth and mental well-being and the causes. You talked about youth media, the digital citizenship, the digital media and the health implications, and how to protect our children from bad health, particularly, and I guess it's from the internet, the use of the internet. And then apart from the bad aspect of it, that it also has the positive aspect of it in engaging them and to use their energy and to communicate amongst themselves. And you talked about its impact, the importance of using internet for communication, even among the youth. And you also give example with yourself as a teacher, how important it is for you as a teacher and the people that are also under you, the children, to use the internet. You had a whole lot to speak about that. I cannot summarize that in the next 1 hour because of lack of time, but we want to thank you so much for giving us this treat on internet, how to use internet and all about internet and all the encouragement you have for us to also encourage the young people to use the internet. Thank you so much. I appreciate, we all appreciate you. We appreciate you. Thank you, dear. Thank you.
It was a great honor to be with you. Thank you for invitation. Thank you for being our moderator. Thank you.
कुछ नहीं कर सकते, बस खाली एक काम कर, उसको जो है कड़क दबा के पट्टी लगा।
Dr. Ishaq Ahmed is talking. Please, can you mute your mic? Dr. Ishaq Ahmed, please mute your mic. Thank you. Okay. Being a gender-sensitive person, we have 3 women and 1 man. Let me go it by gender then, and see if I can call up the next male. Dr. Pratik Bajan Mongeka, you're an old hand here, and we'd like to again hear from you today. I don't know, maybe I should repeat for the benefit of those who don't know you. Today we are talking about a youth. I don't know, how old are you, Dr. Pratik? Unmute, please. Unmute, please.
Okay.
Yeah, are you a youth?
Yes, 28 complete, 29 running.
Good. So we are talking about a youth now, and we are going to hear from the youth, from the horse's mouth, as they said. I was going through his profile and I said, God, thank you for bringing him here. He is a true representative of the youth all over the world. So he is going to let us know why they are told that the future, the youth is the hope of the future. And whether they accept it or whether they don't accept it, is this something feasible? Is this something that has to come today? So we are happy to hear from the horse's mouth today. So everybody should please listen, because to confirm his age, as he has told us, it will be so interesting, because Dr. Pratik Rajam Mongetkar is a scientist. He is a professor. Listen very well. Oh. He is counselor. He's a global educator. He has published so many books and articles. He's an author. He's an international speaker at his age, a youth. He is the first Indian to be appointed as the plenary minister of sustainable development of newly emerging kingdom of Atlantis. I would have summarized his profile, but because he's a youth, we want the world to know why they are the future of tomorrow. He is the first and the youngest Indian whose book, Introduction to Sustainable Development Goals, is being used in the Atlantic Education Program, the first at his age. He's also the first and youngest Indian professor who taught more than 8,000 plus students, and career guided 4,000 plus students, and still counting. I've been a professor for how many years now? 15 years. I don't know about counseling, about up to this 4,000. So he will be able to let us know as a youth how he did that. He is also the first Indian with 850 plus international, national, and state awards at the age of 28 years. He is 29 this year, going to 29. That means by last year, he had this 850 international, national, and state awards. He has at the age of 28 for his contribution in teaching and research. Please, how old were you when you started teaching and researching?
Hello.
Dr. Prati, when did you start teaching and researching? At what age?
I started at the age of 16 when I was doing my diploma in technical and applied chemistry. And last year I have completed my 12 years of teaching.
Okay. So he started teaching at the very young age, 12, and researching. Now he's the first and youngest Indian to be appointed by 45 plus international organizations on various high positions, all at the same time. So I wonder how a youth of this nature at this age is able to handle 45 plus international organizations at the same time. He is appointed ambassador by 46 organizations and 46 organizations of many countries in almost all disciplines. He is the first and youngest Indian to receive royal and prestigious titles like lecturers.
Dr. Oshi, I'm so sorry, but there is echo. Please check mics. I saw some open mics. Now it's okay.
Dear participant,
they closed. Thanks for understanding. They closed it already.
1 minute, ma'am. Please don't unmute yourself. If you keep on doing like this, you will be removed from the meeting. I'm just telling you for your convenience, because the speakers don't disturb
because there is echo.
Yeah, please. Okay.
Yes, there is echo.
Uche, ma'am, please proceed. Sorry for inconvenience. Please.
Okay, thank you. Thank you. Just I wanted to say that there is echo.
So, Dr. Pratik is the first and youngest Indian to receive royal prestigious titles like lecturers, magnificus, that is LM, as well as HRH 5-star Duke. I think this is a rare honor, a rare title. Apparently, I couldn't pronounce it because I've never seen that. He's the first and youngest Indian to receive Mendeleev's Fellowship, and this is a United Kingdom highest academic honor. At 28, going to 29, a youth. He is the first Indian to receive the distinguished title, and the title is Professor Wisdom. Professor Wisdom. And I'll bet you he might be the first in this world because I've never heard of it. He received this title from Institution Cultural Colombiana, Case Poetica, in Maguey, Plumas, in Colombia, in South America. I can go on and list his achievements at a young age of 28 and going to 29 this year. I guess by the time this year ends, he's 29. And I want to also let us into the fact that the United Nations said a youth is between the ages of 12 and 24. And in my country, Nigeria, and probably many other countries, they have their own age limit. In my country, Nigeria, a youth is from 18 to 29. But we find people now at age 40, 45, they are youth. So I want Dr. Pratik, you very well fall into the youth we are talking about today, we are saying are the future. Who are members of your group, the young people, the youth? At what age? And why is it that at your age, you are the future? Is the future not here now? When is the future going to come? So let us into why you are called the hope of the future. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Thank you so much, Uchiman, for your kind introduction. Deeply touched with this kind of introduction. And once again, first of all, I would like to congratulate all the teachers here. A happy Teachers' Day. And now I'll begin with my talk, which is on the role of youth engagement and positive youth development. So youth is a phase in which small children have come out of their protective cells and are ready to spread their wings in the world of hope and dreams. So he or she has the capabilities to bring social reforms and improvement to society. His idealism, enthusiasm, and courage cannot be matched with any other segment in the society. So the stage from youth to adult transition is not only a precarious period for an individual, but also to the individual family, the overall society, and the economy of a country. So the half of the world's inhabitants is represented by young people, around 3 billion below age 30. So these youths are destined to play various roles in their adult lives and need to be nurtured to produce adults with fully developed potential. So youth development is defined as the formulation of procedures to create organizations and societies that play a supportive role in young people to advance towards adulthood. So in the recent past, recreation has been associated with efforts aimed at social reform and the well-being of the community. So making sure that youth are well prepared got their future extensively outstanding in the course of social policy, poverty removal, and growth. Now, what is youth leadership development? So this I introduced the topic. Now I'll introduce, or I'd like to throw some light on what is exactly youth leadership development. So youth development is a procedure that allows young people to go through the confrontations of teenagehood and adulthood so they can achieve their full potential. It is encouraged through activities and experiences that help youth to develop social, ethical, emotional, physical, and cognitive competencies. So it is part of its developmental processes, and supports in the young person are to helping with development. So There are many things, a capability and of examining their own strengths and weaknesses, setting personal and vocational goals, having high self-esteem, confidence, motivation, and abilities to carry them out, including the ability to establish support networks in order to fully participate in community life and effect positive social change. Then there is another thing, the ability to steer and control others in a course of action, influence the opinions and behaviors of others, and serve as a role model. Hello?
Abdul, Abdul, please mute your mic. Abdul, please mute your mic.
And the third factor is healthy youth development. So healthy youth development has conditions that are promoted and supported through programs and activities in schools and communities. So too many of the youth grow up in circumstances that people limited support for healthy development. So well-designed and well-run youth development programs promote youth leadership by involving youth in need assessment, planning, implementation, and evaluation. So effective programs engage all participating youth in constructive action through activities such as service learning, arts, and athletics. So it emphasizes the common values of friendships, citizenships, and learning. Now, the importance of youth development. So existing capabilities are skills that allow the youth to be successful in school, work, and in private relationships, families, as a part of a bigger community. So these could involve real capacities like budgeting and being computer literate, but they could involve skills not taught in educational institutions like resolving issues, resolution conflicts, and self-esteem. So with other asset building approaches to youth development, life skills build an essential foundation for success in adulthood. So it is unfavorable that existence capability elements are merged into different youth programming. Now, youth participation. So youth participation is a crucial feature of most youth developments that are successful and may be evident on a variety of levels. So the most successful programs take youth from being compliant trustees to whole contributing partners of the development stages. So strongest advocates of the youth are their own beings. Their input in development stages can be processed through youth-friendly platforms and working with decision-making people. Now, social and contextual factors. What are those? So peace and growth in a long term are based on getting the youth ready. Some are involved in conflict while others affected by it for roles in work that are positive and in families. So main work with youth affected with conflict involves civic engagements, good living development, developing, coping and self-controlling behaviors. So when provided with resources and role models to discover their desire for change in good directions, they can become agents and anchors of peace and stability. Okay, next is youth and disability. Now, what is that? So disabled youth are grouped with the poor and criticized people in the world. So attitude and hate joined to disability makes it impossible for them to be schooling, be able to work or take part in local activities. So they are seen as asexual and are not involved in sexual and reproductive health, information, and education. So this puts them in risk for being abused sexually and being exploited. It denies them their right to safe and healthy sexual reproductive life. So this is about youth and disability. Next comes youth and exclusion. So the excluded youth may include those living with HIV/AIDS, teenagers that are girls, and those are and boys, and those are that are heads of households. So the prohibited youth are those who are at the borderline of society, making them more unprotected. So program strategies to include youth that is excluded should state a clear understanding of the place and causes of their criticism system. Next is youth and gender. So gender stereotypes of masculinity and femininity, marriage and childbearing puts young women at high risk for material mortality and morbidity. So they also cut opportunities to complete primary and secondary education, leading to minimized economic opportunity and sustaining the cycle of poverty. So programs operating in conflict environments must be sensitive to the fact that gender-based violence has a widespread in unstable situations. Now, what's the role of youth? So youth has to be most important part of everyone's life, considering just how much one person can develop during these years. So these years will not only offer opportunity for growth, but will also help us in getting a better understanding of ourselves. So people go through time of joy, hardship, worry, but at the end of the day, we all become better. So youth is the time in our life that teaches us how to make decisions and start making reasonable choices of our betterment. So youth builds our character and is a very crucial part of our development. So the passion and energy in this period of lives, when put to something very creative and useful, can easily lead to developing our skills and leading us to bright future right away. Now, youth roles and responsibilities in today's era. So God has invested all power in hands of the youth so that he can perform his duty effectively. So they should start thinking positively and creatively, must develop the spirit to refute what is wrong in society, and must realize that how is the time to take action. And these are some, key responses that the young generation must inculcate in them. So first is value of time. Okay, so it is the responsibility of the youth to understand the importance of time. Every moment is crucial for them to take action. So punctuality is a must. Second is discipline. Youth has to understand the necessity of discipline in life. Youth is full of passion. Without discipline, the youngsters cannot work passionately. Third is thinking before taking action. So youth must not be impulsive. It is very important to think before taking action. So this is how the youth will be able to create a thoughtful society. Next is character driven. So character builds up a nation. The young need to be morally strong, reflective individuals, and which will drive them to take corrective actions for the nation. Next is fearless. The youth must be courageous in taking action. Youth can fight injustice. Next is goal-oriented. The youth needs to be focused on the goals that he wants to accomplish. When the young generation is goal-oriented, then their vision and mission become very clear. So these are, your roles and responsibilities in today's area. Youth roles and responsibilities. Now the role of youth in building a nation. Okay. So the youth of country counts as the most important asset that they can possess. He plays an important role in the constructive process of building social cohesion, economic growth, and political stability of nation. So youth are the chance for the entire nation to leave a mark on the entire globe. A country will become much better with the support of the youth that they support. Now, next, role of youth for the change in the society. So youth is the future of society, as we all are aware of this fact. So the young generation simply needs to renew, refresh, and maintain the current status of society. So when the youth contributes his ideas and energy to resolve social issues, he becomes a capable leader and can also be a difference in the lives of others. So they must have the courage to resolve the mournful contradictions that are plaguing so, and boldly take on great challenges without stunning the problems and difficulties that they will inevitably face. Now there are some questions, and I need to answer those questions. So my first question: why is youth so important? So youth symbolizes hope, and he can bring a change to the society and nation. So the youth of a nation symbolizes the drive and will to do more. And that is why everything that the youth of a country upvotes attracts attention. So the motivation and hunger for success is something that cannot be explained. But this is exactly what makes youth so special and important. That is why youth is so important. Now, next question, what are the qualities? What are the qualities youth needs to possess? So youth needs to be disciplined, as I said earlier, also morally strong, reflective individuals, and empathetic. So the youth must have brilliant skills to develop themselves at all times, and also skills that help them in leading better relationships with people around them in their personal lives. So these are the needs youth should possess. Now, how can youth build a strong nation? So youth can build a strong nation by eradicating poverty, building social cohesion, developing the economic condition and political stability of a country. Youth can become a force to empower each other instead of pulling each other down. So imagine a world where every person wants the other to grow and become better. So this is why we believe in a power of togetherness and unity. So the youth must possess these very quality to be a force to bring a change in the society that they live in and build a strong nation together. Now, next is, why is it necessary for the youth to be goal oriented? So when you are goal oriented, then you become very clear about vision and mission. Goals mix and contribute towards one purpose. So the true way to find your purpose in life is by trying new things every day and finding what your true calling is. So by becoming goal oriented, people can achieve great things and become stronger and get an idea of their purpose. So the youth has the right motivation and the drive to achieve unimaginable things. So that is why when they become goal oriented, they can easily find their true calling, become powerful and successful, and help other people. And last, my question is, what are some important responsibilities of the youth? As I explained earlier also, but I would like to highlight this again. So the youth must have responsibilities like being goal-driven, jealous, and respectful. People in their youth must know how to make definite decisions that are well thought and not hurried. Lastly, the youth must be disciplined and should understand the importance of time. And finally, I would like to conclude with my conclusion. Until the challenges young people face are treated as urgent, it is more likely that among their nearly 2 billion numbers, they will end up as a lost generation. So a critical factor is youth development, is the extent to which young people are able to participate in the political and civic life of their countries, but the role models are in short supply according to the Inter-Parliamentary Union of the 45,000 national level legislations in the world. So only 1.9% are below the age of 30. It is hardly surprising that young people are fast losing faith in apathetic political systems at a time when social media is giving them tools to launch dissatisfaction. So nothing can equal the splendor of the youth. To be young, that in itself is to possess a treasure of infinite worth, far greater than any person of power. So it is the responsibility of the older generation to provide them with the right resources, guidance, and a good environment so that they become strong change agents in the community. And the power and the strength that the youth of a nation possesses is unmatched and do bring a chance to grow and develop not only for them, but for the people around them. With this, I stop here. And once again, thank you so much for inviting me here and for patiently listening to my voice. Thank you so much.
Thank you, the youngest professor. Thank you, the youngest awardee. Thank you, the youngest of everything. We appreciate your input. You have really salvaged the youth today. You have made the youth proud as always. Your presentation, you've just spoken to us about something that is very important. If the youth are going to be the hope of tomorrow. You mentioned one thing you concentrated on was youth development. For them to be the hope. They must be developed, and in fact, develop themselves. Even though some of us keep saying, this future, hasn't it come? When I was a small kid, I heard it. Youth are the future. I became an adult, I hear it. And the next generation will keep hearing they are the future. Does it mean they are not being developed? Or does it mean they are not giving opportunity for themselves to develop? So you have gone into that to concentrate on how and what they should do to get themselves prepared, even if the future is tomorrow or next tomorrow. Some people have been waiting for the future to come. Nobody has been able to define for us, what is this future? What is it like? What is it made of? When shall we get there? Are we there already? Or will we ever get there? However, you said that you talked about some phases in the life of the youth developing up to adulthood. Even though I know some youth also claim they are adults. They need social reforms to be able to develop to adult age. You also mentioned that the population of the youth worldwide is alarming. There's a population explosion of the youth. That curve is more at the center for the youth. I think I heard you say something like half of the world's population are youth. Now, you said to us that we need to make sure that youth are well prepared to take on leadership, and you delve into that youth leadership development, how they can be developed to assume leadership, to achieve their potential. Because I believe every youth wants to be a leader, has a potential, even if they don't want to be leaders. There's a potential, there's a goal they have within them. So that need to develop them, there's need to build their capacities, because each person has a capacity, a talent that must be detected and helped to build it. But whether the youth themselves recognizes their capacities and work towards developing it is another story, maybe another topic. You also talked about various strategies, social, contextual factors. Some are helpful, some could help them, are positive. You talked about looking at youth and the disabled. Some of them that are disabled in the society are not well treated, and of course they don't work on their development. They are scorned, they are sidelined, they are not taken care of. So how can they be the future of tomorrow? They are not able to reach their goals. You also talked about another challenge. They are not recognized and they are excluded. Most people now in positions, almost every position, maybe I don't know about other parts, even in India, Asia, but I know that in Africa, the youth are excluded. This group that you talked about, be it 15 to 24 or 18 to 29, they are excluded in the scheme of things. So it becomes a challenge that preparation to get to the future, so for them to hope for the future, may be dashed. So they're excluded. And you talked about also in many parts of the developed world, you see that those youth that have challenge, they are taken care of. They give them special treats so that they work, they have jobs because they have talent. Even those who are challenged blindly or challenged by speaking or anyhow challenged, they still grapple with the future that they hope to attain. You also talked about youth and gender and what happens particularly for the female gender and how the female gender is more at risk as a youth. Then you said something about what role should they play? How do they play? Are they expected? What should they do? Do they really matter in the society? And you answered and say yes, that their role is very crucial. to the development of any nation. You talked about they can only do that through developing their skills, and they too should develop their skill. And that they need to do that because they have power has been put into their hands by God. They have all it takes, all the talents. If I match that with the first speaker, Haware, talked about internet. And today you see that the young people are hands-on internet, which the older generation don't have. So it becomes an avenue to strengthen their skills. And then because God has given them that talent, and they move a country, because it's also in the interest of development of the country, the talent God has given them. And you talked about they also have that character. They should be character driven. And if they are character driven, then the future will be their own. They'll have hope for reaching the future. And you asked some pertinent questions which you answered yourself. The role of youth. You talk about importance. What's the importance of the youth? You answered it at the various ways that they are important. You mentioning also some of the things you said earlier. Qualities that they need to progress. You mentioned how they build a strong nation, how they can help build a strong nation. You mentioned, you also asked question on whether they should be goal-oriented. Yes, they should be goal-oriented. Target, have plans to target that. You also talked about a youth to be able to be the hope of the tomorrow, hope of the future. You said they must be fearless, they must be goal-oriented, they must build cohesion amongst themselves, because when they cohese amongst themselves, they'll be able to also bring others together and bring peace, and then help to make change that in the society, because they are bringing to bear ideas that can bring change in the society. So these are some of the things. I'm not going to recount all of them, that you think that in order for the youth to be the hope of the future, they need to do. In essence, all you're saying, yes, the future, the youth are the future, are the hope of the future, but they should do A, B, Y, Z. They should be held there. They should have this strong character. They should be able to do that and that. So without all those, the hope of their being the future may elude them. That's all I hear you say. Thank you so much. Very much. You have treated us to what we don't know about your generation. Yes,
thank you so much, Ujjwal. You have nicely summarized all my entire lecture. So thank you so much. Thank you.
Thank you. You're welcome. So please stay around just in case people have questions, observations when we are through. Okay, so let's go to the next presenter. The next presenter is also an old hand. She is my dear sister from Egypt, and she is Dr. Alam Imam. She is a dedicated lecturer. She is highly skilled. She's a researcher, and she's trained, very well trained. And she also trained undergraduates and postgraduates in various science-related subjects. She has her special area as a PhD holder is, she says, is phytochemistry and plant physiology, particularly in green and pharmaceutical biotechnology. Dr. Imam is a PhD holder, I said before, specialized in physiology, production, and improvement of secondary metabolites. She has 16 patents. Some of us don't have one patent at all. She has 16 patents related to new drugs extracted from plants. And that shows you how well she's doing her research that will impact the world or has impacted the world. Patented 16. She has 45 books to her credit in the areas of medicinal plants and in the improvement of research skills of youth and student researchers. So she's not only holding these things to herself, she's sharing, trying to bring up people who will take over from her, teaching people the research skills and how to also do some findings and add onto her 16 patented accolades. She has 36 internationally published scientific papers in the area of science. She's a strong scientist. She has chaired many international scientific meetings, keynotes. She's been a keynote speaker. She's been a lead paper presenter. She's an organizer. She's a moderator and international trainer, organizer of programs, and instructor in collaboration with international scientific and training organizations in many countries, in Europe, US, Asia, and my continent, Africa, and her continent, Africa. And today, she is speaking again, bringing her thoughts, her talents, her knowledge, her skills in her area to bear on the topic we are talking about, the youth as the hope of the future. Because as you can hear, she has dealt with kids. She's bringing them up. So we'd like to hear from Dr. Iman, having dealt with these children, mentoring. You must have had a lot of experiences with them. How could they be? And what are the signs? And what do you understand by that they are the hope of the future? Thank you.
Thank you, my dear sister. Thank you very much for this lovely introduction. My voice is clear? Hello?
Yes, it is clear.
Yes, thank you very much for your lovely introduction. First of all, I am very happy to be after Dr. Pratik. Really, I'm proud to have you. I am Egyptian Indian, so as I am saying every time, I am not a guest, so it's my place. Appreciation to you. I'm feeling your emotion because already I have got my PhD. Small in Africa, the situation may be different, but I have got my PhD, and before my PhD, my MSc earlier. So I am saying to my students every time, start earlier, you will reach earlier. I hope all the success for you. Please continue. Really, you are talking, I am saying, mashallah. We are not saying well because we are worried about any bad souls or any bad evils. So we are saying, mashallah, Allah will protect you and go ahead. I'm very proud to be after you and after also Dr. Shawqiyya, because also she did amazing lecture. Thank you very much. Thanks for our lovely moderator, Dr. Oshi. I wanted to deliver a lecture about a small journey with improvement of research skills and also educator skills, because I am trainer of trainers. Okay, so there is some courses and something in Egypt called training of trainer courses. So I am a trainer of trainers. Okay, I'm doing training for trainers. So I wanted to express some things related to improvement of scientific skills and scientific knowledge related to youth. Just I wanted to say one point. There is some questions around the certificate inside the chat box. So I'm so sorry. In our platform, there is no certificate, only certificates for speakers and moderators. So you are invited, inshallah, in the future to be with us as speakers and moderators. I'm so sorry, but just I wanted to highlight this point. As a part of IDYM, I'm very happy to be speaker several times. Today, I'll deliver a lecture about improvement of scientific knowledge and research skills of students and youth educators and researchers and students in relation to SD goals. Next, my dear sister. I wanted to say also Happy Teachers Day. Yesterday, we are in a great ceremony related to Teachers Day. We are remembering Dr. Sarvapalli because he remembered all educators, not only Indians, but all of us are thanking his soul. Let's go, please, my dear sister. Yes. Now we need to talk about SD goals. We have 17, as you know, more than me. We have 17, SD goals. So the first goal is related to quality of education. It's one of the most important goals, and it's one of the most effective goals. Yes, as our colleagues, Dr. Shauqiya is referring to the fourth one. Yes, it's highlighted by open book because we need to be as open books. Thank you. Next, my dear sister. Yes, today I wanted to talk about improvement of scientific knowledge and research skills of students and youth educators, researchers, and also youth students in relation to SD goals. Next, my dear sister. Yes, there is some thing must be highlighted. It's professional development skills for modern educators. Now we are talking about educators, so we need to highlight professional development of skills of our modern educators. Next, my lovely sister. Transferring science is not a job. It's a message. So we are as messengers. So we must do it. We must do it seriously with all love and all appreciation, improving ourselves to be able to improve our students. We can't improve our students without improving our skills. Next, my dear sister. Okay, any problem? Okay, so I need to talk about education. Education is not only located in lessons, it's transferred from studying, then gaining a knowledge, then by practicing this knowledge, we will have experience by time, and by practicing also, experience will be focused on the form of skills. So we need to highlight the word skill. Next, please. What about the skills? Skills means different things. We need to focus on training, increasing the ability to educate and to learn. We need to increase our knowledge and many things. And we need to focus on advanced training and many things. Mind growth and many things. Yes. Next, please, my dear sister. Yes. Professional development, we are talking about several points like monitoring, consultation, practicing and study improvement, and reflection and learning. So many things included in professional development. Next, my dear sister. So we need to be in a continuing professional development. It's very important, not only development, not only improving ourselves, but continuing professional development. It's very important to be in a continuous development. So we need to feed ourselves by training, by more and more education. For example, I wanted to focus on some point regarding myself. I am not only have only one PhD. After finishing my first PhD, I asked myself, I need to learn more and more and more. What can I do? I learned law. However, I am a scientist. However, I am phytochemist. I am working at academic staff member, as academic staff member in an international university, which is Al-Azhar. But I wanted to improve myself more and more. I studied law. And now I'm going to get my second PhD in IPR, intellectual property rights. I am trying to connect intellectual property rights with biotechnology. Also, I studied psychology. I am still a student. I am still kid and I am still youth because I don't like to be a teacher or educator or professor before being a student. So I'll study till the end of my life. So I am now at the second level studying psychology, at the second level of psychology. We need to continue learning, continue education. Education can't be stopped. So we need to achieve success. How can we achieve success without learning and learning and learning? We need to burn our lives in learning. Next, my dear sister. Now, what about career development? We need to focus, thank you. We need to focus on self-assessment, career awareness, goal setting, skill training, and performance. We need to focus on high performance, not only performance because of your work and because of your job and so on. No, we need to do excellent performance. Next, my dear sister. Because as I said before, education is not a work, is not a position. No, it's a message. We are messengers. We need to deliver our messages to our students. What is the core features of effective professional development? We have many things. We have duration of time, we have coherence, active learning, focus on content knowledge, and collective participation, and so on. Next, my dear sister. So I talked about professional development. I talked about continuing professional development and also effective professional development. Also, as you see, many cycles. We have education, we have curriculum, and we have, we have educators, we have colleagues, we have students, we have curriculum. So the educational media is very important. Without students, how can you will be an educator? It's very important to focus and put your eye and looking after your students. It's the most important issue. Next, my dear sister. Let's talk about curriculum development. Curriculum development includes, thank you, my dear brothers and sisters. Curriculum development includes many issues like STEM, language arts, social studies, science, math, visual arts. However, if you are biologists, you need to learn math. You need to learn math. It's very important. Math is alive. So we have interdisciplinary, we have multidisciplinary. Don't focus on your career only. Don't focus inside your curriculum only on biology. For example, if you are biologists, you need to know at little one information about anything. Thank you. Next, my dear sister. What about self-development? Also, we need to focus on knowledge, attending workshops, seminars, conferences. This will improve the educational ability, and also presentation skills must be also improved. We need to focus on our skills again and again. We need to improve our skills. because people those are not improved will be disappeared with time. So next, please, as like as dinosaurs. So training and development. Next, please. What is the relation between professional development and the training? As you see here, we are talking about coaching and teaching and knowledge and development and learn and experience and skills. I'm using my skills as a coach in training my students. We need to train our generations how to be a speaker. I'll show some of my students as speakers and as a chairperson. I'm trying to learn them, to educate them how to be good speakers and chairpersons and so on. Next, my dear sister. Yes, this is there and this is circle are showing. Thank you, my dear brother. Are showing the soft skills training. It's very important to improve our skills via internet, via training, via attending workshops and seminars and conferences and so on. Now, because of COVID, we can be from different countries together at the same moment. Thank you, my dear sister. Next, please. What about active learning, inquiry-based teaching and learning of biotechnological sciences? I'll show some examples. Dr. Shawqi, I wanted to try very fast, to run very fast because of limited time. So please, next. I'll show some photos very fast. Yes, personal experience. I'll show some of my personal experience and my books in the area of simplification of science and education of students. Next, please. You can run the books very fast. Some books are related to simplification of science in the area of biotechnology, as you see, plant biotechnology and natural pesticides, plant biotechnology and pharmaceutical products, bioinformatics. I encouraged some of my students to be authors with me. We wrote about bioinformatics, anti-cancer. Also, I directed some books to my students related to writing in science, how to simplify scientific writing. I wrote to myself the way to my future as a contract between me and myself to be better even in the future. I wrote about many things, either scientific or simplification of scientific knowledge, either pure science and theoretical or practical sciences related to my career. Also, I wrote in the simplification of science. I prepared many books related to scientific writings, and I'm encouraging my students to get the knowledge very easy. Many books related to biotechnology and phytochemistry. Already, alhamdulillah, as the Dr. O'Shea said, I have 46, it's now 46 books. This photo related to leaders. This is the youth, future leaders. Future leaders, they are the leaders of the future. I'm very happy by their smiles. Please stop here, my dear sister. No, the previous one. The previous one, my dear sister. Sorry. Not this. Yes. These kids are our future. I visited Dr. O'Shea, said, how can I support the kids and the students at the school level? However, I am academic. Academics must simplify science to all levels. Yes, we are not allowed to direct. We are not allowed to direct our science only to our students alone. We must distribute the science in a very easy manner. Here I am trying to learn students and their teachers, behind and around the students are learning from me how to simplify scientific writing. As you see, huge participation from kids. However, they are kids. All people are saying it's something like being a mad. How can you inform kids ethics of scientific research and how to write a scientific paper? They are still a kids. No, kids can learn many things because they are our leaders in the future. What about education during a pandemic? Before this slide, this is me, previous slide, my dear sister. Yes, this is me in Malaysia. I was selected from Egypt. I was selected from my faculty of science and my university to represent my country in this workshop. It's done and organized by UNESCO in the area of improving, improvement of educational skills and research skills of students and youth researchers. Here, many colleagues from different countries all over the globe, we are talking about inquiry-based science education at Malaysia, okay? This workshop is organized by UNESCO to simplify science, to improve research skills of students and so on. Next, my dear sister. Yes, what about pandemic? We can run away in these photos. It also reflects active learning. And how can you change your students? These students, some of them are worried to talk. They can't talk at all with any teacher, with any professor. They are worried and afraid to say any word. They are hesitating. How can I say any word in front of my prof? I asked them to prepare lectures, and I said to all of them, you will, please, my dear sister, you can stop. You will be a monitor, you will be a moderator, you will, some of you will be a speaker. I learned them how to be good presenter. Then I said to them, please go ahead. Then, as you see, they go ahead and all of them are delivered many lectures in different aspects of science. I evaluated their performance as best speakers and so on. Then I tried to give the best speakers and the best moderators and so on some gifts. It's not huge gifts, but to be memorized, to say that you are good, that please go ahead, you did a great work. So I encouraged some of them to continue. And also I asked some others to improve more and more themselves to continue also. We are not responsible only for clever students. We are responsible for all students to make them clever. Not only we need to encourage clever students alone, but we need to encourage all students to be clever, to be leaders. In addition to many other lectures in the area of improvement of life quality during the pandemic, and many other lectures in the area of sustainability of life during crisis, and maintenance of psychological health during the pandemic. Because as you know, many people are losing some members of their families. Many people are in COVID. So I read a book from WHO about how to maintain psychological health during the pandemic. I contacted the author and I asked him to use the content for educating my students how to be better. He gave me the permission and I started to ask my students to be speaker and presenters to talk about how to maintain psychological health during the pandemic. They give other students some advices to be well during the pandemic. Next, my dear sister. The best 50 students, 50, not 15, students are selected to attend free online training program on branches of IBR. This program is done by Ministry of Higher Education and Scientific Research, Academy of Scientific Research and Technology of Cairo, Egypt. They invited them as a gift to attend free online training programs in the area of IPR. We need to learn and educate our students how to stick to ethics of scientific research before doing scientific research. It's very important. I learned IPR to appreciate the right of others in their intellectual properties rights. Next, my dear sister. You can run in these photos. These photos contain many training programs related to other places. They invited my clever students to attend free online and offline training programs after the end of COVID. Many lectures related to different aspects of science. Here, after the COVID, this workshop about improvement of research skills. As you see here, best speaker, best participation. I gifted some of them, some of my small books. They are very happy. Please stop here, my dear sister. I have a message. Education by, no, my dear sister. The previous one. Yes, education by love, engaging the student equals responsibility, equals improvement and high performance and better future. We are looking for better future. All of them are happy because of knowledge. Knowledge is not hard, is not a source of sadness. No, knowledge must make students to smile and be more happy. Students must be happier after getting more knowledge. So it's our responsibility. Around me, some of our heroes, they delivered lovely lectures during the training program. Yes, we can with kids also. Kids also can do. My dear sister, next slide. Kids also can do. This kid is less than 6 years old and he is, mashallah, delivered a lecture. I learned him about ethics of scientific research. All people around me are saying he is only talking, he is not understanding what he is saying. I said, no, he understanding everything very well. He delivered his lecture in a very clever manner, and they honored him and our group with him because he is clever. This is the future, our youth and our kids. After COVID, we returned. Please, my dear sister, previous slide. After COVID, we returned again and again. Our super students here, they are acting as a lecturer with me. I am doing my lecture. After finishing my lecture, I have a space. I am listening to him. If you wanted to be a good thinker, you need to listen to others, not only to be talkative. No, you need to listen to others. Maybe they have anything which will be better than you. I'm listening to my students. They are very happy by very, very small gifts. Very, very small gifts, but they are very happy. They are remembering me. They are giving these very small gifts and they are putting them on social media and Facebook. We are clever, we are good students, we are doing as lecturers. So this is the future. This is the youth. All photos are full with female because I am in girls branch. So all my students are female, but I am doing many social works. So you can find mixed photos, but during the lecture only I have girls. Improvement of research skills of the students and youth researchers. Next, my sister. Because next, my dear sister, because I talked firstly about improvement of educators and trainers and youth and researchers. So I wanted to divide my lectures into several parts because it's directed to many classes. So now we need we need to highlight the last part. Now I wanted to talk about ethics and the rules of participation in scientific meetings. This message is directed to young researchers and youth researchers. We have different forms of participation, online, offline, being president, being vice president, being chairperson, vice chairperson, organizer, secretary, reviewer, editor, speaker, oral, or poster presenter, or being attendant. I am saying to my students, don't being only attendant, try to be speaker, try to be moderator, don't be only attendant. However, attendance is very important, but try to encourage yourself to talk, to spread science, to share your knowledge. Next, my dear sister. So every type of participation has its ethics. There are many common ethics, like you need to deal with others in a very polite manner. We need to have mutual appreciation. You are not allowed in any international meetings to talk about religion of others, classes of others. You need to appreciate. Don't highlight any special things related to others. You need to be formal. You need to show hospitality, and also you need to be honest in your information, in showing your information, and so on. What about writing a paper, alphabets of a scientific paper? Paper is not only like any other written paper, it's reaction induced by sounds of minds interact with each other to produce applicable work. This applicable work supplied a beneficial product for people. Next, please. So paper requires great efforts, payment, and also a reaction between scientists and their surrounding environment. We are talking about SD goals, for example. So we are not allowed as a scientist to be isolated from our environment. Next, my dear sister. Already the full the PDF and the PPT of my lecture already in the group. If any one of my dear colleagues wanted the material, it will be available already in our WhatsApp group. Next, my dear sister. The summary of this book is related to Dr. Shawqiyya, please. The summary of this book is related to sorry, Dr. Shawqiyya. The summary of this book is related to something like a dictionary. I'm trying to simplify scientific writing. I put a rule from every written word in the paper. For example, abstract must be attractive and blah, blah, blah. Directed to the point and so on. I think maybe Dr. Shawqiyya has any problem. Yes, she is not in the Zoom room. At all, I am going to finalize, but I need to highlight some things. But I have a problem in my screen, so we need to wait for here, or I can continue without sharing to summarize. Allow me open my PPT. I can finish within about 3 minutes, maybe less than 3 minutes. I think Dr. Shawqi has any problem, so don't worry, I am ready. Regarding simplification of scientific writing, I wrote about each part of the paper to make something like a dictionary, alphabets of a scientific paper, something like a dictionary. I wrote about paper as pencil pen reactions give us applicable work, which will give us product. This product must be beneficial for people. It needs efforts payment. It's a reaction between scientists and their surrounding environment. What about paper equation? Title plus abstract plus introduction plus methodology plus results plus discussion plus conclusion plus references equals the paper. I am directing my book to both students and educator. Students to learn in a very simple way. Educator to be able to simplify science, to take it as an example in simplification of scientific writing. For example, title must be directed directed to the aim, and it contains total ideas and the total results, and it must express the work totally in very brief words. It must be informative, identifies the work, targeted to the point, less but suitable words, but better than many misleading words, enough for the identification of the work. What about abstract? It must be attractive, brief words, but of great values, strong information, targeted to the point, represents our data shortly. All ideas and all methodologies and all results in a mini paper conclude our works. It's compact, complete, many paper, targeted to the point. Introduction must introduce the work to readers, not too short, not too long, not boring, but medium size is better than enough. Also targeted, as I said before, in the case of abstract, also introduction must be targeted and to the point, renewable, and rephrase our sentences to fit our work, organize our data in order to show its scientific value. We need to do documentation of every written word. Also, it must be useful review followed by introduction of our great target in the work shortly at the end of it. Its compact, complete review of literature must be included in. Also, it must tell us about the past against the future, and it must be informative, and its observation what is already done by other readers and other researchers to determine the main aim of our presented work. Neglection of pioneers equals complete ignorance. No past equals no future. So I am learning my students to appreciate and to respect IPR. It's very important, intellectual property rights. It's very important to be appreciated. What about methodology? Materials, methods, ethics, efforts, estimation. Ethics is the most important point in methodology. So doing your work in an honest manner is ethics. Doing it seriously is ethics, and so on. To establish our future.
Sorry, Dr. Iman, the internet was cut. Can I reshare it another time? Or you have finished?
Yes, sister, thank you. Thank you.
Thank you.
Most welcome. You saved me. Thank you.
Welcome, my pleasure.
Thank you. Because my screen is flashing, so I don't like to interrupt the recording by my bad screen. For this reason, I try to complete without sharing my screen. I don't like to interrupt this online interview. Please go ahead, my dear sister. I finished many points, so you can start at the results. I am going to finalize. Thank you, my lovely sister.
Okay, Dr. Mann, are you finished? Are you done?
No, I didn't finish because Dr. Shawqi has a problem in network. So she will reshare my screen. I am going to finish within few minutes. I'm going to finish and summarize. But really, this point is very important, how to simplify scientific writing and how to learn your students how to write in a very easy manner. I'm using it with schools and with students, academic students, and also postgraduates.
Sorry, there is a problem.
Don't worry.
There are empty here. Maybe
So,
because of
maybe
the weakness of
problem
the
in
internet.
downloading. So I can continue from my home, my dear sister. Thank you. Thank you.
Yes.
Don't worry. Thank you.
Yes, thank you.
You did your best. Thank you. I appreciate.
Thank you.
Thank
Thank
you. I appreciate.
My pleasure.
Thank you. Now I need to go fast. We are talking about methodology, how to use simple things to achieve your great target. Don't talk about facilities. Please don't talk about facilities. Talk about your performance, because your good performance will be better than any low facilities. So don't talk about low facilities in any country, in any lab. Don't talk about facility. Online mind is highly required against offline minded. So your online mind will guide the work to be better. Direction of the work will be the leader in your thinking. Official thinking is better than is not better than creative thinking. We need to think creatively. We need to have creativity, not to be official in our thinking. International thinking is better than local thinking. We need to use simple things to achieve our great targets. Clever people are using simple things to achieve their great target. Online mind is higher than offline mind, again and again and again. Direction of the work will be the leader of in your thinking. Sorry. It means that you have great contribution to the science. You don't have weak traditional work. So your work falls under your responsibility. We need to learn our youth how to be a responsible person, how to carry heavy issues, how to be leaders, because they are the future. It's not a phrase, it's feelings, not a phrase, not only a phrase. All people are saying youth and youth and youth. When youth achieved anything, they are saying, wow, amazing, how come? No, it's the nature. It must be done. Youth must lead, leaders must lead, and youth must lead by taking our experience and our support. Years of your life bended for learning. So you need to be learned how to be a great scientist in the future, how to share science without any boundaries, no boundaries in case of science sharing. Don't talk about religion, don't talk about anything else. All people are equal. So don't differentiate between people, don't classify them. All of them has the right to learn. What about results? It's reaction between all other parts of the work. We need to respect both positive and negative results. Negative result is a result. We need to respect our own results. Don't be copy of others. Don't try to copy and paste results of others, and don't try to stick to others. We are going to establish our successive works led by our running results. We need to have new results, not similar results to others. We need to be useful for other followers. We need to have a valuable work, not traditional weak work. We need to talk about in attractive manner. Tables is not better than figures. Figures is very important and highly required because tables containing words, but figures containing colors and attractive colors and so on. So it's a good way to transfer, for transferring ideas. You need to support or correct primary hypothesis. Encourage yourself to have self-confidence. So I can say at the end of the paper, I am in the right way or I am in the wrong way. Discussion. It means this or life of data. So you need to have informative discussion. I see Dr. Shawqia is trying again and again and again.
Yes.
Appreciation to you, Dr. Shawqia. This is
Thank
the
you.
Palestinian soul.
Thank you very much.
Welcome.
Yes, when you say to me stop, I will
Yes,
stop.
yes, yes. Thank you. Most welcome, my lovely sister. Thank you.
Thank you.
Highly appreciated.
Yes, thanks.
This is the soul of scientists and the Palestinian
Yes.
scientists.
Yes, thank you very much,
Welcome, my dear sister.
our dear sister.
Yes, yes, here. As you see, because previous one. Because I am in love with my flag, I am in love with my country. However, I can put in my heart some other countries, but I am in love with my country and my flag. Next one, my dear sister. So as you see, it's our color, red and white and black. Previous one and the previous one. Previous one again. No. Before this, yes. As I said, discussion, no. Yeah. Next. Next. Yes. Please stop here, my dear sister. Discussion is a death or life of data. It must be informative, must be done simply. Comparative analysis of your results against the results of other, represented in a creative manner. In a creative manner, sorry. Next, my dear sister. Useful data is highly required against useless data. Don't discuss useless data. It must be done shortly, swimming with your data and the data of others. So if you will do fast but qualified swimming, it will be better than slow and bad swimming. It must be informative and of great impact to the work if done carefully. New way of comparing. Allow me to close WhatsApp because of its voice. Try to disturb our audiences. It must be informative of great impact to your work if done carefully. A new way of comparing your results with results of other speakers, it will make your work very strong. Next, my dear sister. After that, we have conclusion, takeaway message. Next, references. You can run in the references because I'll talk about it briefly. References, we need to repeat our references included in all parts. It must be recent, up to date, but pioneers must be included also. You need to be honest in mentioning all data related to the reference, like authors, journal, author, topic, and journal name, and the volume, and the issue, and the pages, and years, and so on. And also in case of book, you need to refer to the publisher and so on. Next. Next, my dear sister. To be honest, S of references equal scientists. Next. S of references equal scientists. Will appreciate IBR of others, so you will appreciate the efforts of others. Next, my dear sister. Finish. Finish. Thank you very much. Just I want to clear some points related to, allow me, Prof. Ushi, to summarize. I wanted to declare some points. We need to improve both youth educator, youth researchers, and also youth students. We need to improve the skills of kids. Don't ignore kids. I'm in a connection with some Indian schools. I'm trying to do many things related to curriculum. I'm with them in celebrating some days like Environmental Day. I sent some of my published book in the form of easy curriculum to allow some of my colleagues in India, they are teaching to kids, to allow them to know how to be good with their environment. What is white biotechnology? How can we how can we produce some nematicidal agents from waste? Banana peels is not a waste. Peels of any fruits is not a waste, but it will be a waste if you will not use it. So we need to use peels. We need to be white with our environment. We need to learn our students how to appreciate their environment, how to appreciate others, how to improve themselves. Appreciation to all educators in the Teacher Day, appreciation to IDYM because they are doing amazing platform for educators to transfer their science and also to distribute their knowledge. And also we have a lot of knowledge by listening to others. Thanks for all speakers before me. Thanks for our lovely moderator. Thanks again for Mr. Ravi, for Dr. Ravi and Ms. Donnell, and all people behind the camera who are supporting our message. Thanks again, and Jai Hind. Thank you. Happy Teacher Day. Thanks, Dr. Sarvabali, for leaving a good memory for us. And I wanted to say that I have now, I have a parent in science from India. He is Prof. A.K. Nayak. I have a brother, I have an old brother in science. He is Prof. Rajput. And today I have a young brother. He is Dr. Pratik. So from anywhere, you can have sisters and brothers in science. Scientific family is very huge. Thank you, Prof. Oshi. And thanks for all audiences, and thanks for Dr. Ravi again and again and again. Thanks for IDYM. Thank you.
Thank you for this 1 hour tutorial on your work and what you teach your students and your book and what you should do in school. We thank you so much. Thank you. Thank you very much. Please, let's go over to the next speaker. The next speaker is H.E. Honorable Dr. Monique Lynch. She's from Jamaica. Is Honorable here, please? Honorable
Yes,
Dr.
I'm
Monique.
here. Yes, I'm
Thank
here.
you. That's good. We are having you today for the first time, as you said to me. It's a pleasure having you amongst us. We are welcoming you, and we want to hear from you. I know that you are from Jamaica. You are an ambassador. You're a youth leader. I'm looking very well to see the youth in you. You are an author. You are an entrepreneur. You're a lecturer. You're a mental health professional and program coordinator for World Health Organization, I guess.
Yes.
And PAHO. You're collaborating with the Center for Development of Nursing and Midwifery Education in the Caribbean. You are recently appointed to the African Union Youth Assembly as the diplomatic president, elect for Jamaica, and also the state of Boland's youth representative to the AUYA. You're welcome. You're all over the place. And in all these movements, all these appointments, all this collaboration, training, mentoring, lecturing, I can see the youth aspect of your work. Youth Assembly, African Youth Assembly. And we have a lot of Africans, a lot of youth in Africa. I know that 90% of the youth, we have about over 1.8 billion people, youth in the world, and they constitute 90%. No, of that 1.8%, 90% of them live in developing countries, Africa amongst them. Yes. And you find, for instance, 1.2 billion aged between 15 to 24, and they constitute 16% of the world population. I don't know if India also know that they have more than 235 million youth in India. We have about 225 million youth in China. So these are some of the places where we have youth, and I think Africa is one of them. So having dealt with the youth all along, you're still with them. Why do people say youth are the future of tomorrow? Why are they the hope of the tomorrow? Some say they are the future. Can you tell us, please?
Yes, Madam Moderator, thank you so much for that wonderful welcome. Good afternoon from Jamaica. It is truly a pleasure to be here. So today I want to talk briefly about a subtopic: youth, assets or liabilities. Now, the greatest wealth and strength of any country is its youth. The future of any country lies in the hands of its posterity, and the quality of its youth determines the kind of future every country will have. Now, in Jamaica, youth make up about 45% of the total population. So if we can harness this dynamic age group in the right direction, then we can all achieve our Vision 2030 goals, our African Union 2063 goals, the SDGs. Literally, there will be no limits for any country. And if all we need is to direct the energy of youth in constructive, sustainable, and progressive channels that lead to wholesome development, why not invest in youth as a means of investing in our own future? Now, what are some of the ways that we can invest in youth? One, we need to provide them with good education that leads to a holistic development. And this means ensuring equal access to learning, equal access to opportunities and resources for both urban and rural youth populations, inclusive of youth at risk. And when we said youth at risk, we're talking about youth with disabilities, youth with mental illnesses, youth with HIV, youth from low socioeconomic backgrounds, teenage parents, etc. Number two, we need to provide them with mentorship at all stages and levels of their lives. Now, this can manifest in mentorship programs at schools, at churches, at workplaces, communities, etc., pairing younger persons with older persons to provide guidance. And I'm just going to share a few examples. So here in Jamaica, we have high schools that are structured from grades 7 to 13. Usually the school administration will pair students from the lower school, which is grades 7 to 9, with students from upper school, which are grades 10 to grade 13. Also, there is a big sister or big brother program where past students provide mentorship and career guidance to current students. Another example, in universities in Jamaica, each student is paired with a career counselor, which is usually a lecturer that serves as a guide and a mentor throughout the duration of their studies. Number three, investing in mental health. Now, there are so many risk factors affecting youth today: bullying, unemployment, abuse, self-esteem issues, socioeconomic challenges. Now, schools, churches, communities, workplaces are ideally placed to help individuals to develop good mental health literacy. Now, not only can youth be easily and frugally reached through these mediums, but teachers, parents, caregivers, supervisors, and others involved in helping young people grow and develop can participate in these school-based and community-based mental health literacy interventions, thus enhancing their own mental health literacy. Number four, empower young people and enable them to become drivers of change through the collaborations of governments, private sectors, public sectors, and youth-led organizations to advocate for more investment in young people as a development priority, to build the skills of young leaders and involve young people and youth-led organizations into policy making and programs. The fifth point, making youth a priority. Now, young people are often excluded from decision makers to the detriment of youth themselves and or future generations. Giving young people a seat at decision-making tables, promoting youth leadership and participation is the key to the success of any country. These efforts will enable young people to develop the skills, the knowledge, and the support needed to make informed decisions about their bodies, about their lives, families, communities, countries, and the world. Now, two examples of this that we have done here in Jamaica is having a think tank. Now, this is where young people from different organizations come together with members of parliament to discuss solutions to public issues. Another example is having a youth representative assigned to each ministry in parliament. And even though there is no one size that fits all, these are some examples of how countries can invest in youth development. And in conclusion, building a global future, our future, there is no bigger asset than our youth, the generation that will solve future crises, lead countries, write policies, innovate and preserve or destroy democracies and system of justice. We need to protect, invest to develop our assets and increase our assets. Any other course of action would be that of liabilities. So my question here today is, do we see youth as assets or do we see them as liabilities? Thank you so much.
Thank you very much, HE, Honorable Dr. Monique. I'm going to start calling you Dr. Monique. You have, in this small, short summary, led us through what it means to hope on the youth of today for the future. You talked about that they are the assets. They are assets to any nation, the youth. Even though you didn't delve into why, their energy or their what their resources and all that. And you talked about many of them to agree with me that majority in Jamaica, they are about 45% of them, 45% of the population in Jamaica. It's also the same thing in Nigeria. I guess also the same thing I've quoted that of China and India. And you thought that because of the number, the population, there is need to harness their energy. And when you harness their energy, it permeates into everything. And you mentioned SDG goals. Once it's harnessed, I presented a paper. I remember when you were talking about that on youth leaders. And we have a problem with climate change. And I said to the crowd, to the people, look, the older people handling positions now cannot handle climate change. They don't know anything about it. So the youth should be prepared to take over, to handle not just climate change, but all others. And once they're able to handle climate change, the others will fall into shape. And we know that climate change also will affect other aspects of the sustainable development. The youth have the internet, they have the digital technology and everything. So we have to get them prepared in order for that future we are talking about to happen. But is it happening now? I don't know. It's for you and I to tell. And you talked about we have to invest in them. Because when we invest in the youth, our future will be assured if we invest in them. Now, you talk about the way to invest in them is by giving them good education, equal access to learning, like in urban and rural areas. A lot of them are running away from the rural areas. Give them equal access. Give them also quality education, not just quantitatively. You become part. I know that there are, for instance, in my country, there are over 12 billion children out of school. Many of them have not, 25% of them have not seen the four walls of the classroom. So as we are giving them that access, they should also give the quality, because it's the quality that will make the future. So I agree with you that urban and rural equity, disabled persons should not be ignored. Some of the points you said here was touched on by Pratik, yes. And you talked about taking care of the disabled, taking care of teen parents, not abandoning them because they are pregnant and they've gotten their babies. You talked about helping the young people to achieve that future by mentorship, mentoring them. There are various ways that they can be mentored, as you mentioned, like schools, like churches, like groups, peers, like you mentioned in Jamaica, you have a network to, they converse, interact amongst themselves. You have something like the Big Brother or Big Sister program where they interact and their health. They have career counselors, and you also, we also have to invest in mental health literacy, that will help people to come out of bullying, and colleges and the other schools should get into that. Then we should empower them because they are the future, they are assets. We should empower them to be drivers of change. And the only way we can do that is to build capacity, build the skills in them. They have lots of skills, just to drive them out, provide them with enabling environment so that they can, you see, a lot of them can do a whole lot of things now, but in some countries, like the developing countries, I don't know if India suffers that, I doubt, because from IDYM, I can see that India is elevating their youth. The small ones are catching them young in order to be the future. I give an example here now. The future, hope of the future, the youth. I can see, and I marvel that Ravi Ji is living up to that. Training and bringing up our young CEO, that's Daniel Ashmi, to take over from him. And she's learning skills and practicing and doing all these things voluntarily. And that is the way to go, to take over. And that is what we are supposed to be doing for our youth, mentoring them. And as soon as we all go, they quickly step into our shoes. So we must include them in decision-making seats. I guess every country is also struggling with that. The older ones are just staying put without giving them that chance. We must form think tank like you do in Jamaica. And if we don't do all this, as you said, these assets, we cannot build them. So the biggest assets we have are the younger people, both from the younger age up to the youth age that we are talking about, so that they take over from us easily and rule the nation, not having people who are as old, sleep in meetings, can't remember anything, so that we can build a good future for the children. By the time, for the youth, by the time we do so many of these things, we discover that this future is being prepared and they take over. But I can tell you this for free, that a lot of the old ones, including the recent one, like the millennials are those born between 1980 to 1994. They are now adults. So they'll be between 27 to 40 something. A lot of them are even not on the seat. How much more the people we call the youth? The older ones that are ready to drop dead anytime are driving our decision-making positions. So it becomes necessary that our youth should be the future, because the reason is that the intelligence and work of the youth in any country will take the country on the pathway of success if we invest in them. As each generation comes, the previous generation becomes obsolete. The new ones keeps learning the new things, and the globe changes, the world changes, the new things come. And those new things that come in the time of the youth of today, when they sharpen it and prepare for the future, they take over. But because they are expected to be building blocks of every country and any country, I don't know how far each country is succeeding to build them. And I think many countries are succeeding. I think India is succeeding. I think China is succeeding. I don't know about Europe and the US and all that. In Africa, I can tell you there's no building block there. We just watch them and they keep protesting. And we'll watch them from day one, since I said earlier, since I was young, I keep hearing this, but they never take over. The same people are recycled in our social settings, political settings, even in the church. They're all recycled. You don't even find their children taking over from them. I don't know, a question. I said, is it that they don't also bequeath to their children those characteristics, those things that we need to harness the assets? So because of that, you see some of the youth, they are lazy. They are lazy, so they don't do anything, and they enter to crime. And one wonder, with this kind of background, how can there be the future of tomorrow? The education system you also mentioned, I don't know how far we are preparing them for that future, because they can't prepare themselves. Are we preparing them to have the skill that are required for the future? In many schools, universities, you find that digitalization is something that is eluding them. Even the millennials teaching them are not hands-on. So how do somebody that doesn't have anything will hand over to somebody to have it? No, you don't give what you don't have. So they are probably not well prepared now. But for them to be the future, it is important that they start today to prepare, to ever to take the future. Like I say, can be tomorrow, can be next tomorrow. And we keep telling them, people like me, you don't sit down for future to be handed over to you. You grab the future in your two hands. Grab it. Nobody relinquishes a leadership position. You have to take it. And if you are taking it, you have to be qualified and to showcase that you can do better than those who are occupying it. You don't just say, oh, I want to be a leader. No, prepare yourself. And in preparing yourself, you don't have to be a thug to politicians. You don't have to carry ballot box. You don't have to kidnap for them. You don't have to do all things. for you to get there. If you do that and they put you there, you see that you are not that leader that we need for tomorrow. I know that, I don't know if anybody knows where this phrase came from. Can anybody tell me, please, who was the person that said about the youth being the future of tomorrow? Monique, can you tell us if you're still here? Monique? Monique?
Yes, sorry. Yes, I do believe that it was a research that was carried out by WHO, I think in 2015. Don't quote me on that, but I think it was WHO that made that statement.
2015? No.
2015.
You lost your prize. You lost your prize for this answer. I think I'm going to take it. The person who said the youth of today will be the future of tomorrow is a wise man. We all know him. The man is Nelson Mandela. It is Nelson Mandela that brought that the youth are the future of tomorrow. Today, they are the leaders of tomorrow. We are the youth. We are the future. We are the generation that will move forward. And there are roles that they must play in order to capture this. Nelson Mandela foresaw that quite early and then kept mentioning it because there are people who don't want to relinquish seats. And the roles, some of the roles they need to take care of in order to be that future is that they must simply help to renew their skill, their energy. They have lots of energy. They must refresh and maintain the current status of our society. They refresh this current status is not that good. It's not something to write home about. So they must refresh it and show signs that they can be better. They can improve the situation today than what it was. I can see you're saying it's World Health Organization 2020. Okay. So, but we'll find out exactly who did. Now, we have to, like you said, including them in leadership. There has to be innovations. We have to really encourage them to be innovative. And a lot of young people are really innovating now all over the world. Things that we thought that are, very challenging and hard to come by. You find it, but to help them, to mentor them, give them the environment, give them the resources, they are not getting that to move ahead. But I believe that the wind of change is blowing because we expect to advance the course of technology, and the youth have that technology. They have it, and they can be better politicians. They can bring about peace in any country once they are properly harnessed. So we want to ensure that this future of the youth is realized. It's all in our hands. From the teacher, the curriculum in the classroom, from, you say that, yes, Nyerere also talked about it. Yes, you're right. So for every one of us, starting from even our home, training our children to be that future as parents, as church leaders, as ministers, as governors, as presidents, in fact, you don't even need to have a position to be a leader. Anybody that can influence should be able to influence leaders. Today, you find a lot of conferences going on training. Like you said, we have to train them. Leadership training. Like myself, I have an outfit too on leadership. I lead. Tell them they can lead. So if we're able to harness all this, so that the older generation will move and let the younger ones come in. But I said earlier, the good news is that the young people that we are talking about, they are now taking their faith into their hands, and they are taking over. They are preparing themselves all over the world. If you come to Africa, Honorable Monique, you will agree with me. And the same thing with other countries. They want to take over. They want to have this leadership, whether we, the older ones, like it or not, because there are advantages in their taking over. We must help them do that. We can't stay on that seat forever and ever, recycling old things and no progress made. The economy is not getting better. but they have everything now. Probably by the time it is their turn, by the time they get to it, they'll also give way to others, train them so that they can be. The future keeps coming. The future never ends. So that is my idea, and I want to say, somebody raised hands. Monique, did you raise your hand, please?
No, I was copying that point that you made. You made a great comment.
Okay. So does anybody want to ask questions to any presenter or add? Yes. Mohammed, you want to say something? I want to see hands. Anybody want to add or ask questions? Okay. Dr. Yes, Raya? I can see her hand. Yes, please go ahead. Please go ahead, Dr. Raya.
May I
Please
say
go ahead.
May I say my views on this topic, ma'am?
Please go ahead. Please go ahead, ma'am. And let's see your face, please, if you don't mind.
Yes, I want to say on the topic, the youth is the hope of our future. Yes, this is Professor Dr. Shreya Banu from Vilayanagar, Chhattisgarh. Very good evening to all of you. As Dr. Joe's Rizal said, the youth is the hope of our future. The youths are very energetic and enthusiastic. They have the ability to learn and adapt to the environment. Similarly, they are willing to learn and act on it as well to achieve their goals. Our youth can bring social reform and can improve the condition of society. Young people have the ideas, the creativity, and the great energy to shape a better world. Young people are full of hope and through innovation and imagination. They are problem solvers and have a great potential to generate a positive social change in the world. The power of youth is the commonwealth for the entire world. The faces of young people are the faces of our past, our present, and our future. No segment in the society can match with the power, idealism, enthusiasm, and courage of the young people. Today's young generation is more creative, hardworking, and aware of their future. They are working to achieve their goal to contribute to their nation. The biggest opportunity of India is their youth, and the government has to work on their biggest strength to make our country a developed nation. As Albert Einstein said, logic will get you from A to B. Imagination will take you everywhere. Then the question arises, what are the needs of youth? Youth seeks to gain the acceptation, attention, and affection of others, seeks to master their environment and achieve their goals. Independence, the need to gain control of one's density rather than be at the mercy of others. Youth seek to control their word and gain the respect for others. The best advice for youth are don't rush to grow up. Don't try to plan your entire life out. Friends will come and go. Cool is just a matter of opinion. Saying no is fine. You are not the only one who's anxious. Seeks help when the things get too much. Stay open-minded to the views and opinions of others. As Pearl Asberg said, the young do not know enough to be prudent, and therefore they attempt the impossible and achieve it generation after generation. Now I conclude, young people not only represent the future of our country, we are one of society's main agent of change and progress. We have a great effect on economic development too. In this stage of our lives, we build many social relationships and develop a personality that define us as a new generation. And at last, I want to share nice words said by Swami Vivekanand. You have to grow from the inside out. Thanks a lot, ma'am. And happy Teachers Day on 5th September. India is celebrating on the birthday of Radha Krishnan. Happy Independence Day. Thank you, love. Thank you, ma'am.
Wow, thank you, thank you, thank you, Dr. Suraya. Thank you so much. That was very, very nice of you to add. It was very relevant, relevant. And we all agreed that the youth are the future of tomorrow, that there are certain things that need to be done. But we also know that they face obstacles. There are obstacles to that. And we all, may be either contributory or be part of getting them out of that quagmire. There are some issues facing the youth today that they cannot reach that future. They cannot be that future leaders tomorrow. Some of them, like growing up too fast. You find some parents, the way they train their children, they grow up too fast, doing things that at their age they should not do. The fast money, fast everything. You don't want to go it stage by stage. So they are derailed by that. You find some violence in schools. They are taking on to violence. And how can they have the concentration to be that leader? A leader can be violent. So that violence in schools, you find killings and all kinds of practices that are not supposed to be. You find some of them are so stressed out because they are busy chasing shadow, busy chasing the wrong things. They can't manage their time, because if they are conscious of time management, then they should be able to be more productive. So it's not just a question of we helping them. They also have to help themselves to be that future. After all, some of us, nobody helped us to be future leaders, but now they need our help. They also have the political and social issues, like I said before. They engage in political thuggery. They do all kinds of things for politics. Even in the US, you find when Trump was going through the election, you see how these young people stormed the house, and almost, in fact, some people died from it. And these are because of politics. But ask me, those people, are they going to be leaders of tomorrow? I doubt it, because they are political thugs. Then we have materialism. A lot of youth just want material things. They don't care about what subsists. They don't care about their integrity. They don't care about their credibility. Just today, they don't want it tomorrow. Materialism, just grab it, whatever it is, and by any means. Some of them are so obese. The obesity as a result of just sitting in front of the television, eating popcorn, eating junk, and watching television. They have nothing else to do. They are not tasking their brain. They are not critical thinkers. They don't know what to do with themselves. So they just stay there. We find most of them in the developed worlds, for instance. And it's also some are here from probably rich parents. Then you have that education part of it, which Monique also talked about, the inequality in the education. Like I said, 25 of these youths have never seen primary school. 25% of the youth all over the world never seen a classroom. So are these not, by you, if you quantify it, see how huge that 25% is. That group cannot smell leadership, because you have to learn, you have to study to occupy a leadership position. Then you also see that the quality of schooling given to them is not commendable for somebody who is going to play the role of leadership influence. You have to learn quality to be able to add to, transfer it to the next person. We have a shifting economy also affecting their challenges for not getting there, which we must all attempt and help them come out of. This shifting economy has to do with the social and economic changes we have in this world. They have we have open markets now. Open markets that is resulting in layoffs. In layoffs, we have outsourcing. We outsource, the world outsources their work to countries where it is cheaper. and thereby shortchanging the youth in that country. So the economy, the economy of the world is shifting, and it affects the youth. And once you're laid off, the chances of getting them back in replacement, like it happened in COVID, the economic situation there in COVID was poor. People were laid off. How do those people become the future of tomorrow? So, but with some of these things, we have a role to play. We have agreed, yes, they are the future. We have also agreed that they have challenges. We also agree that there are strategies that we and even them, the youth, can deploy in order to, get them to where they should be for the future. Whether their future is tomorrow or next year and all that, we have all hands must be on deck. Everybody must help to influence that, and we call the attention to do that. Thank you. I can see Dr. Iman raising her hand.
Yes, my dear sister, I wanted to greet Dr. Soraya Pano because she said great words. Really, Dr. Soraya, also you added the value to the day. Also, great thanks for all respected speakers, but I'm very happy to listen and to hear from your side. It's not my first time to hear from you. Really, you are doing amazing works. Thanks again. Did you know that your name is as Egyptians, but she is Indian? I love you and I love your name because you are adding your inputs every time you are trying to share your knowledge. Thanks. We are very happy to have you today. I wanted to greet her and all our respected speakers and our lovely and respected moderators. Thanks a lot. Thank you. Thanks, Prof. Ushi, for your valuable time. And thanks, Dr. Soraya Pano, again and again. Thank you.
Anybody else, please, that want to speak? Otherwise, okay, please go ahead. Yes.
Yes, thank you. Thank you, Dr. Ochi. Thank you, other moderators and my colleagues, the speakers from all over the world. And
please, who is speaking?
Sorry?
Who is speaking, please?
Yes, Shawqiya Hawawra. Shawqiya Hawawra from Palestine. I want to congratulate you for the successful presentations and moderation for this meeting. I want to thank all attendees from all over the world, all the speakers, and of course, the head of this association, IDYM, for this distinguished work and hard work that he is doing. And it is, as my colleague, Dr. Iman said, it is not the first one that I participated in such programs, and I hope that it will not be the last. Thank you very much and good night.
Thank you. Mahmoud Zuba. Zuba, do you have anything to say? Mahmoud Zuba. Okay, somebody raised hand. Please, you raise your hand. I can't read your name because it's written in Hindi. Please speak. If you raise your hand, please speak.
Yes, Mr. Khalid Ibrahim from Sudan. Please go ahead. The floor is yours.
Yes.
Thank you so much.
Yes,
thank you so much.
Welcome.
You're welcome.
Thank you so much for the effective presentation and to the point when. Do you hear me clearly?
Yes, we can hear you.
Yes, go ahead.
Okay. In spite of all these potentials youth have, actually, particularly in the developing countries, they face so many challenges, as you mentioned. And in Sudan particularly, we have seen how youth sacrifice for the sake of changing the regime and the situation, political situation. And they even lost their lives And because they have a vision and they know they want to change the situation, economic, social, political, and every aspect of development. But actually, they face these aggression and these aggressive politicians, and they face so many problems when we come to speak about education and how difficult, for example, spending on education, many other things, even job opportunities. It is not at all in favor of them. Still, we are not quite sure of giving them the chance. But traditional politicians, they insist on sizing every, for example, every chance to push them away from the scene. And this is very clear in Sudan. This is my point, which I want to raise.
Please, can I get your name, because it's not written there. What's your name, please?
My name is Khalid Ibrahim Muhammad. Khalid.
Sally?
Yes.
Khalid. No, not Sally. Khalid. Khalid. Khalid.
Ibrahim.
Yes.
Ibrahim what?
Khalid
Muhammad.
Ibrahim.
Mohammed.
Yes.
Okay. Okay. Thank you so much. For clarifying and expatiating on what I said. It's all over. It's all over. I use the example of the US. It's all over. Like I saw in the chat, you said some are being used, some are doing it purposely. Yes, some of those big leaders are doing it purposely, but they won't use their own children. So
yes.
Thank you so much. I don't know anybody else before we close.
Yes, sorry for interruption, but Mr. Khalid Ibrahim, I invited you to deliver a presentation if you want with this great association. I sent you the list, but unfortunately you didn't reply to my message. So if you like, you can add your name with the topic of the presentation that you want and choose the time that suits you.
Okay, thank you. I will, inshallah.
Thank you.
Definitely, I will participate. Thank you.
Thank you.
Anybody else wants to speak, please? Otherwise,
yes, Sadine, Sadine, are you with us? Sadine معانا؟ سدين افتحي احكي عربي وأنا بترجم. احكي لك جملة.
السلام عليكم.
عليكم السلام. By the way,
دكتور شوقية, please.
Yes.
أنا سدين غازي أبو سرية.
I want also to introduce Dr. Mohd. Sorry, Dr. Ushi, but he is trying to join us and to add her knowledge.
Yes.
Our knowledge. Okay.
Yes.
So after Sadine, welcome Sadine.
Yes.
Welcome,
yes. Sadine. By the way, Dr. Sadine is a student from Jordan, and she is very active student. She participates in all our training sessions, either Arabic or English ones, and she becomes our ambassador for my team. We are initiative towards the big. So I want to congratulate her parents and her school for this amazing creative student. Yes, Sadine. يلا Sadine, احكي جملة.
Thank you, teacher Tawqiya. I love you so much.
Me too.
Can we see your picture? Can we see your picture, please? You see your face?
يلا ممكن تفتح الكاميرا. حابة دكتور أوتشي تشوفك في مجال.
يلا
wait a minute please. Yes, she will open her video or camera. Yes, she follows us, Dr. Ochi, in many sessions. Yes, welcome.
Okay.
Wow. Very beautiful.
What did you say is your name? Oh, she's gone.
Sadine. Her name is Sadine.
Sadine.
Yes.
Okay, please, let's hear her again with her face. Did she run away?
Yes.
Sadine, let's hear you talk, please, with let the world see your face and you greet everybody.
Yes. يلا بقول لك خلي الكل يشوف وجهك. اضحكي. Smile. Yes, very, very beautiful, yes, Idym. Your face is so nice.
ما شاء الله.
ما شاء الله.
Allah
يبارك
here. Allah protect her.
Yes, Allah protect you.
My lovely
Good.
I love you very much.
I love you.
Thank you. Are you going to be the future of tomorrow? You going to be the future of tomorrow for your nation?
Yes. بتسألك يا سدين هل راح تكوني أنت مستقبل أمتك؟ يعني راح تمثلي المستقبل للأمة؟
Yes.
ما شاء الله. ما شاء الله.
Thank you.
Thank you so much.
كثير بتمنى يتحقق.
ما شاء الله
يلا
يتحقق بإذن الله.
إن شاء الله حبيبتي كل التوفيق.
وأهلا بالأردن الحبيب.
شكرا.
Okay. Thank you, everybody. Thank you, dear. Thank you, Sadine. Thank you. Idym, Ato.
Thank you very much.
Okay, Arthur, Sadine, you want to say something? Arthur Chibodo. Idym, Arthur Chibodo, you want to say something?
Yes, he is trying.
Good evening.
Okay, I wanted to proffer some solutions to predicaments being faced by the youth, which is distracting their future or their hope on the future. Number one, the main solution that we all have to focus on is the resuscitation of our economic status, which will ensure that every youth in the world has a room to work, to be employed, and to get the capital to do their development or their project. Then number two, the other solution that I see as necessary and vital one is the political side. Our politics as the world must be favorable to the youth or to the young generation. In what sense? I think it is very crucial for the leaders or for our national or our world's government to leave certain positions that grooms our youth into good leadership qualities or into politics that will enable them to take a lead in the near future and transform the lives of their peoples according to the country. So my solutions are based on two things: the economic status and the political position within the country. Thank you.
Are you done?
Yes, thank you.
Okay. Thank you for the solutions that you proffered. I think it adds quality, it adds to all that we are saying to get the youth to be the future of tomorrow. I can see another hand. Kuma, please. You want to talk? Please go ahead. Kuma, you're raising your hand. Is Kumar listening? Is he raising his hand?
Yes, Kumar has finished, but Taqwa is raising her hand. It is in Arabic.
Okay, I couldn't read the writing. Taqwa, if you're, please.
تقوى تفضلي احكي. تفضلي.
I'm Taqwa 104. I live in Jordan.
Let's see your face, please. if you don't mind.
افتح الكاميرا، بدها تشوف وجهك في مجال.
Good, okay.
Yes, very nice.
Yes.
ما شاء الله
ما شاء الله.
Thank you for this workshops. You are amazing.
Like you. Thank you very much. Also, Sadine is a Jordanian student. As Sadine, they are very active in listening in the training sessions. They follow us every session, not only in my team, but also in my colleagues' teams, either in Arabic or English. ما شاء الله. Thank you. بهني أهلك ومدرستك عليك يا تقوى، ما شاء الله عنك، وكل التفوق والتألق إن شاء الله إلك لزميلتك.
حبيبتي أستاذ شوقية، الله يسعدك.
ما شاء الله عنك، ما شاء الله.
Dr. Shawqiyya came with her guest. I'm very happy with them.
Yes, they are my followers.
Welcome.
Thank you.
Also, Dr. Rafi welcomed them. He is very happy by them.
Yes, of course. The children are the future of the nation.
Education programs should aim to teach and young minds right from the school level the importance of choosing right people who will take charge of the governance and the role of youth who are fresh with ideas and not ideas will help in this cause, and it is therefore important to acknowledge the role of civil societies in empowering youth towards strengthening of the democratic system of the country and enable development. And the solution lies to effectively utilize modern tools in disseminating the belief among youth for their participation and representation in democracy through civil society initiatives. So our countries need them to resolve most of our problems. And currently lots of countries around the globe in Africa, in Asia, facing a lot of challenges, and youths are capable, they have the abilities but they are not getting the right opportunities, and they just need to be given a chance to prove themselves. Have the power to unite individuals in the various ethnic groups, and and the racism is an ongoing issue around the world, and individuals are fighting against each other because of the complexion of their skin and the texture of their hair. Religion is the another issue. Tribes are the another issue. So the youths can, convince their fellow man to live in peace and love. All of us are one, and we should not allow these little differences to push us away from each other. No, we all are equal. So there are also a lot of crime place around the world. Women are being killed by their abusive husbands. Persons' homes, businesses are being broken into. So all of the crime and violence needs to stop. So the education is the right way. Education is the weapon by which we can, eradicate these things. We can aware, we can sensitize the society. The youth once more has the ability to bring about a change in the country, in the world. So youth seems to have the ability to face any issue and challenges. They have the potential, they have the skills, and we have to enhance their skills. We have to train them, and we have to provide the opportunities to them. They have a positive influence of their fellow young people, and they are able to teach them the positive things in life. So the ones who are, destroying their future, they tend to listen to their fellow youth, and they will make them understand the importance of a good human being. So we have to make each and every citizen good human being. The wise youth that we have out there should be taken into consideration. And some of them, though educated, are unemployment is the problem. They should be given an opportunity to expose their intelligence to the world and make themselves into someone. So the government and the society and the organization should take part to aware, to provide opportunities. They will make a huge difference in the society and the entire world. So the youth are our life and nation, and they will make our country proud, and the country will be recognized. And the youth just need the support, enabling environment at family level, at the community level, at the society level, at the state level, at the national level, at the international level, which in turn will them to perform their duties. So the role of youth in the nation building is crucial, and they are solvers, have a positive influence on other young people and the nation, and are extremely ambitious. So they have the ability to create and identify for themselves and move the nation forward. So however, they will not be able to do this without the support of the family, without the support of government or the community and the fellow youth. So then the youth can make their beautiful land flourish and shine in success. Thank you.
Oh, good. You have really expatiated on all this. You have brought it out so well about what we should do to help the youth. And as we say all this thing, and you emphasize something that is important: education. We must put them through education, and that education is not just at the four walls, in the four walls of the classroom. It'll be outside, so that they can be employable, so that they can be self-employed, so they can do critical thinking, so they can hold leadership position, because it's part of what we should teach them in school, not just memorizing what we teach them. They should be hands-on, practicality. It all behoves us as teachers, as parents, as employees need such people. So we have to encourage them. But the young people themselves must also encourage themselves. They must stop being thugs to politicians. They must not just stay at home and, waiting for leadership to come to them. They have to make effort. And they said, God help those who help themselves. You have to show that you're hungry before somebody can feed you. So we will summarize by saying, the youth, yes, we know you are the future of tomorrow. Yes, we know you need some support. We also want to say, please help yourselves. We will prop you as high as you want to go. We are there with you. but please give us the courage to help you. God has given you the talent to take over the future. You don't have to stay until the future is handed over to you. If it's handed over to you, you are not going to handle it properly. You have to start today. Start learning, training yourself in leadership, train yourself in critical thinking. Be busy. There are some hands-on things that will also give you that you will need tomorrow, that future when you become a leader. So being the leader of tomorrow starts from today. If you don't start from today, there will be no tomorrow. So I want to thank everybody for their
My pleasure, and
contributions.
thanks, Professor Uche ma'am, for providing me the opportunity. Actually, it's night time here, so lights are off in the room, so that's why I didn't open my camera. Thank you once again.
Okay, thank you. So we want to, on the whole, thank our organization, IDYM Global University is providing this knowledge and skill. Courtesy of our founder, Ravi G. Kumar, has made available from the wealth of his good-naturedness, his care and love for humanity and learning. And that's why he's provided all these resources in order to help us to learn. We appreciate him for all the sacrifices, sleepless nights. At this point, he's also awake. Until very early in the morning, he's awake, he's up again, trying to satisfy us. The same thing with our technical team. They are awake 24 hours doing one thing or the other. We want to appreciate them. They are led by a very strong lady, young lady, Ashmi, the new Ashmi. Please, we thank you together with your team. Please keep doing good. We appreciate all of you. We can't pay you enough. The world is also gaining and benefiting from what we are saying here. Thank you so much to the speakers, to the contributors, the participants, wherever you are. Please, if you have anything to add on what we have just said here, add it and let us make the youth shine and be that future that we need tomorrow. Thank you, everybody. Thank you, our colleagues. And we want to finally say Happy Teachers' Day. As we are all teachers, we hammer on teachers. Happy Teachers' Day to our colleagues in India. You're doing very well. We can assess that. I can also have said it so many times. Thank you. Please keep going on. Please keep moving on and higher. Bring up those little children as you've been doing. And that is where Ravi is very, very good at. That's where he started from. The young people, they are the future of tomorrow, as Nelson Mandela said. Thank you, everybody. And I want to say good night, everybody. We will meet tomorrow. Thank you.
Good night. Good night. Assalamu alaikum.
My dear sister, just I wanted to say thank you very much.
Thank you, Dr. Muhammad.
Thank you, everybody.
Strictly to my heart, on my heart. She is completing the moderation. However, the light is turned off. I think maybe it's rainy now in Nigeria because I was in Nigeria at August and September. It's very hard conditions, but really I appreciate. Now you are looking as the light inside the dark. Appreciation. Now it's but it's temporary light. You are using this.
Yes.
Appreciation.
Appreciate you, ma'am. We appreciate you.
I'm appreciating the good work. So appreciation,
yes,
sister.
Yes. So nice to join you.
We are
Good
very
luck
proud of you.
and good
We are
night.
very proud of you.
Goodbye.
I love you
Goodbye.
more now. Excellent.
And I also appreciate you, Dr. Iman. You motivated me to speak.
Thank you, my dear brother. It's your place. It's your place. All of us are guests of Dr. Ravi, but he is saying all over the time, you are not a guest. It's your place. So all of us are guests and owner of the house. Thank you.
Yes,
Dr.
thank you. Thank you very much.
Again, really, I love this behavior. Because she is completing the moderation, however, of the darkness. I appreciate you. Really, I appreciate. Thanks a lot, my dear sister.
Good night. Good night. Thank you all.
Thank you, my dear sister, Dr. Shamkiya, for sharing.
Nice to meet you.
Thank
Yes,
you
thank
for
you.
sharing my screen.
My pleasure.
Thank
My
you.
pleasure.
Thank you.
How are you? How are you, Sister Shokya?
Fine. Thank you. Alhamdulillah. What about you, Dr. Muhammad?
Alhamdulillah, I'm doing great.
Yes,
Bye,
nice to meet you here.
thank
By
you.
the
It's
way,
my pleasure.
Dr. Muhammad is my guest speaker for many times in my association, which is
Thank
called
you. Yeah,
Arab
it's my pleasure.
Teachers English
Thank you.
Association.
Yeah, you invited me many times and I enjoyed your platform. And
Thank
I
you.
was very happy to express my views in your programs. Thank you.
Thank you. We are so glad also to join us more and more. Thank you.
Inshallah, I will.
Inshallah.
Thank
Salam
you
alaikum.
again and again, Prof. Ushi. Thanks
Salam alaikum.
for lightening the darkness. Thank you. I appreciate. Thank you. Thanks for IDYM. Thank you. Happy Teacher Day for all. Thank you. Bye bye all my dear colleagues. We have newcomers from Dr. Shauqia. Thank you for her invitation to our colleagues, and thanks for Dr. Rabi for his invitation to all of us, and greetings to IGYM and Jai Hind, and bye bye. Greetings from Egypt. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh, and bye bye.